Hey everyone, my name is Erin. I am a 200-hour certified yoga instructor, and today I'm going to lead you through a gentle heat yoga sequence. For our class, you're going to need two blocks and a yoga strap. I don't have, I can't find my yoga strap right now. I do have one, I just can't find it. So I'm going to use my TRX straps, but same difference, right? All right, so just get started by doing just a little bit of grounding, finding a comfortable seat on your mat. Take a nice deep exhale. Allow the palms to rest on the thighs face down, closing the eyes if that feels comfortable, melting the shoulders away from the earlobes. And for now, just allowing the natural rhythm of the breath to flow in and out of the nostrils. And then let's slowly begin to control the breathing, slowing it down, taking in the next inhale for 3 counts, 1 count hold at the top, and exhale for 4 counts. And just continue that pattern of breathing. Focusing our attention on that breath. As thoughts come into the mind that draw us away from our breathing, allow them to melt away with the next exhale. And as you're ready, just allow the natural rhythm of the breath to come back into the lungs, opening the eyes to a soft gaze. All right. And from here, we're just going to come to our mat, extend the legs long. We'll take a nice deep inhale here. And on the exhale, we'll melt forward, chest to toes, hands to knees, shins, thighs, wherever they come. Great place to bring your strap in if you like. Just bringing the strap around the balls of the feet, one end of the strap into each hand. Bringing some tension into the strap to pull the chest towards the toes, so not rounding the chest down, but sending the chest forward and out. Might mean you don't fold as deeply, but that's perfectly okay. Nice deep inhale and exhale. Slowly release the grasp on the strap. From here, we're going to take the left sole of the foot and bring it into the inside of the right thigh. We'll take a nice deep inhale, sitting up nice and tall, one end of the strap into each hand, ensuring that the strap is wrapped around the ball of the right foot. Inhale sits us up nice and tall, and on the exhale, we'll melt the torso over that right leg. Again, not rounding, but pulling the chest through towards the toes. Taking a nice deep inhale and exhale, release the grasp on the strap. We're going to switch sides. Left leg goes long. Hook the strap around the ball of the left foot. I'm going to turn around. Sole of the right foot goes into the inside of the left thigh. Nice deep inhale sits us up nice and tall. One end of the strap into each hand. And exhale, melting torso towards the left leg. Pull the chest through. Keep the spine nice and long. And breathe. Nice deep inhale and exhale. Release the grasp on the strap. Send both legs long. We're going to bend the knees here so that the soles of the feet are planted. We're not going to keep them there for long. We're going to bring our strap and hook it around the balls of both feet here. And we're going to move into boat pose by bringing tension into the strap as we rock onto the tailbone, bringing the soles of the feet off of the mat. And then as you find your balance, slowly begin to extend the knees, extend the legs, keeping tension in that strap to just find that nice upright boat pose, pulling the chest through. Nice deep inhale and exhale. Slowly bring the feet back down onto the ground. Take your strap off to the side. We're going to come on to our hands and knees so that we can go through some cat-cows. So here on our hands and knees, stacking the joints, shoulders over the wrist, hips over the knees, and taking a nice deep inhale, arching the back, look up towards the sky. Press the mat away. Exhale, round in the spine, pushing the mat away. Chin to chest, gaze into the belly button. Inhale, arch, look up. Exhale, round it in, gaze inward towards the belly button. And just continue this movement at your own breath's pace, moving as slow or as fast as the breath will allow. All right, and on our next inhale, we'll come to stillness in our tabletop position with a neutral spine. From here, we'll tuck the toes underneath, plant through the palms, send the hips up towards the sky. Find your way into downward facing dog, taking nice, gentle pedals with the feet when you get there. And when you're ready, finding stillness in your downward facing dog. We'll take a nice deep inhale, bend both knees, press through the hands, melt the chest towards the tops of thighs. I'm here, my mat is not as grippy as I want it to be right now. So I'm just gonna grab onto the sides of my mat to really press my chest towards the tops of the thighs. As you're looking at your feet, just make sure they're nice and parallel. Sometimes the heels are turned in or turned out. Just try to get them as close to parallel as you can. Take a nice deep inhale. Straighten the knees. Good. All right. From here, we're going to take a nice deep inhale. Send the right leg up and high. Exhale, we're going to send right knee to right elbow. Inhale, extend it up and long. Exhale, right knee, left elbow. Inhale, up and long with that right foot. And on the exhale, we're going to step the right foot in between the hands. Good. Staying up on the back toes. Back heel is spinning up towards the ceiling. We'll take a little twist here by keeping the left hand planted on the inside of that right foot. We're going to inhale, right hand high. Exhale, top hand to the floor. Drop that back knee. Untuck the back toes. Good. From here, we're going to walk hands back towards the body. Bring that front foot to a flex. All right. I want you to just set your blocks up at the front of your mat. Just in preparation for where we're getting ready to go here. But slowly walk hands back. Rebend the front knee. We're going to take either hand onto the block, and you can do this at whatever height you like. I'm going to take my blocks onto our second setting. I'm going to retuck my back toe. Lift the back knee. Using some momentum, kind of rocking on those back toes, I'm going to come to a stand on the front leg in a nice standing split. And using my blocks as little stilts here to find that perfect position as I melt my nose towards my standing knee. Trying to keep that back leg parallel to the ground. Doesn't need to be up and high. Sometimes we hear standing split and we think, oh, open up nice and wide. But try to keep the hips square and the back leg parallel to the mat or the ground. Okay, and we'll slowly begin to rebend the front knee. Bring the back toes back onto the ground And we're going to inhale here, bring the blocks on their highest setting, pull the chest through. Good. Remove the blocks from up under the hands. Plant the hands on either side of that front foot. Step back nice and long. Find your downward facing dog once again. And here again, let's do a little bit of play movement. Nice deep inhale, bend both knees, press into the palms, send the chest to the tops of the thighs. And on your next inhale, slowly extend both knees. Come back into that downward facing dog, straight leg. Nice deep inhale, left leg goes high. Exhale, left knee, left elbow. Inhale, extend. Exhale, left knee, right elbow. Inhale, extend. Exhale, step or walk it through. Find that twist on this side. Right hand plants on the inside of the left foot. On an inhale, we'll twist towards that left leg. Left hand reaches up and high. Nice deep inhale. Exhale. Top hand comes down. Bend the back knee. Untuck the back toes. Walk those hands back, straightening that front leg. And if you like, you could bring the blocks in here too. It actually really helps find space for the torso to lengthen out. Actually feels much better for me, so give it a try if you like. And breathing. And since I already have my blocks planted here, I'm just going to walk the blocks forward with me as I rebend that front knee. Tuck the back toe, lift the back knee. Using the leverage to pivot off of the back toes, come into standing on that front leg. Walking my blocks, melting nose to knee. Squaring the hips, back leg is parallel to the mat or the ground. Slowly rebend that front leg, back toes onto the mat. On the inhale, pull the chest forward, blocks on the highest setting to find space for the spine to lengthen, chest pulls through. Good. Moving the blocks out of the way here. Plant both hands on either side of that front foot. Step back, downward facing dog. And from here, just make sure you have one block within reach. We're going to make our way up and through for a yogi squat. And to do this, we're going to take right leg high. Exhale, step the right foot on the outside of the right hand. And left foot follows on the outside of the left hand. Can bring a block underneath the hips as you lower them down onto the mat. Pull the chest through. I'm gonna bring this here. All right. Just continue breathing. Now I came facing the side of my mat just so you guys could see a little better, but you guys can stay facing the front of your mat. And of course, feel free to take this yogi squat without the block if that's in your practice. But continue to breathe. All right, I'm going to transition back to the front of my mat as we get ready to move on here. From here, we're going to slowly lift our hips off the block, coming back into something like a wide-legged forward fold. Moving our block out the way, we're going to melt down into that wide-legged forward fold, planting the hands as we step right foot back long and then left foot back long for a high plank. And we will slowly lower heart down onto the mat for chaturanga, elbows hugging the side body as you come all the way down onto the ground. Good. We're going to bring the palms underneath the forehead and just bending each knee, loosening up those legs. All right. And from here, we'll bring forehead onto the mat. Extend the arms long alongside the body. And we'll take a nice deep inhale to lift arms, lift legs into a Superman. And exhale, slowly release. Inhale once more, lift arms and legs. Chest pulls forward, core is engaged, engagement in the glutes. And exhale, slowly release. One more like that. When you're ready, on an inhale, lift high. Exhale, slowly release. From here, we're going to bend both knees. Reach the hands back to the tops of the feet. And on an inhale, we'll find that same engagement. This time, pressing tops of the feet into the palms as we lift. And exhale, slowly release. Keep that grip onto the tops of the feet. And inhale, lift into that bow pose. Press tops of the feet into the palms as you come up. And exhale, slowly lower. One more like that. When you're ready, on the inhale, press tops of the feet into the palms to lift. Exhale, slowly come down. All right. Release the grasp on the feet. Bring the arms out alongside you like a cactus. And from here, we're going to bend the right knee and we're going to take the right foot and step it on the outside of the left hip. You can bring the right palm right in front of the chest, just kind of acting as a gas pedal, as a nice little stretch on the left shoulder. And we'll slowly release that. Coming back onto the belly, forehead to the mat. Cactus the arms. Take the same thing other side, bending the left knee. Plant left sole of the foot on the outside of the right hip as we use our left hand slightly as a gas pedal for our stretch on the right shoulder. And slowly coming back down onto the belly. Before we come out of this time on our belly, we're just going to lift up into what is a Sphinx pose. I'm actually going to turn around. Tops of the feet onto the floor, releasing the glutes, nice and relaxed. Bring elbows underneath shoulders. You can even walk the elbows slightly in front of the shoulders. Sometimes this angle can be intense for the low back, so just do what feels good for you. You don't have to have the elbows directly under the shoulders, but you may. So as you're here in this Sphinx, you just want to be mindful of what the shoulders are doing. If they're all maybe scrunched up towards the earlobes, do your best to melt them down, pulling the chest forward. And if you're finding that difficult to do, that may be an indicator that you want to walk the elbows slightly in front of the shoulders just to give yourself a little bit more space, allowing the shoulders to release. All right, and from here, we're just going to press up into a tabletop position. I want you to just, as you do that, bring a block within reach. We're just going to go back into a child's pose from here. So big toes are going to kiss, knees open up about as wide as the mat. Sit back towards the heels. Melt the forehead onto the mat. This child's pose feels so sweet. I almost don't want to move from it. But we're going to move on here, pressing through the palms as we lift the hips. We're coming back into our tabletop position. We're actually going to move into pigeon, which is a position I really don't enjoy unless I have the support of a block. So to get into our pigeon pose, we can start with the left side here. I'm just gonna bring the left knee to the outside of the left wrist. From here, I'm gonna position my block just about under my left hip, and I'm gonna bring the front shin across. You know, everyone says perpendicular. That's never been within my range of motion to bring my what is this part of the leg? My shin out perpendicular to the rest of my leg or parallel to the front edge of my mat, but as close as you can get it. Lengthen out the back leg, and I'm just gonna find a rest on this block here. planting through the palms just to lengthen out. Pull the chest forward just for a moment, and then on the exhale, we can release the torso down, coming on to the forearms for our pigeon pose. And as I'm released here in this pigeon pose, I am keeping some activation in my low body just to ensure that I'm keeping my hips square. So I'm actively kind of intending to pull this outer outer left hip back towards my left foot so that my hips are staying nice and square. And on an inhale, we'll replant the palms, come up through that nice little stretch as we pull the chest forward. I'm just going to send the left leg back, coming back into that tabletop position here. Switch the block to the other side so that it's close in position for when you're going to need it. I'm going to turn this way and we'll get into the pigeon on the right side the same way, bringing the right knee to the outside of that left wrist. As we do that, you can lengthen out the leg here, shin parallel to the front edge of the mat as close as you can get it. That is the goal, but again, I'm not in my range of motion. I'm going to set that block up underneath my right hip, keeping that activation cue in mind. Outer right hip is pulling towards that back foot. On an inhale, we're pressing through the palms, extending or pulling the chest forward. And on an exhale, we can melt down onto the forearms for our pigeon pose. And just the support of the block was really instrumental for me. When I first started practicing yoga, I would go full-fledged into pigeon and experience quite a few injuries, micro tears in my hamstrings, in this outer hip muscle. And once I introduced the support of the block, it just became a much more accessible posture for me. And anytime I'm folded over, anytime my torso is extended, I'm thinking about sending breath, sending air to the kidneys, really breathing into this low back space. It's just an intention, but I find it just relaxes me just a little bit more. Reminds me that I can expand in all directions. And on an inhale, planting the palms, taking that little pull of the chest forward, crown of the head up towards the ceiling. And I'm just going to scissor my legs back into that tabletop position. From here, I'm going to cross the ankles to come into a seat. And then I'm just going to work my way onto my back to hug the knees into the chest. And maybe rocking side to side here. Finding stillness if you're rocking side to side. Just going to allow both the knees to fall over towards the left side of the body. Open my arms out into a T position as I gaze over my left fingertips. And inhale, move the knees through center. Exhale, allow them to fall to the opposite side, changing your gaze as you do that. And inhale, knees through center, hugging nose into knees on an inhale. And exhale, we'll release that grasp and come into our corpse pose. Allow the feet to splay out to either side of the body. Release the palms alongside you, face up. Letting go of any control over the breath. Doing your best to stay present here. Reminding yourself that there is nothing to do. There's nowhere else to be. If you can, release more deeply into the support of the mat underneath you. And slowly begin to bring some movement into the toes and the fingertips, gentle wiggles. And when you're ready, rolling onto your favorite side for fetal position, using your arm as support underneath the head. And slowly pushing yourself up to a comfortable seat. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, hands through heart center as they come into the heart. Rub your palms together, generate some heat. And place your palms onto your heart center. Bowing forehead to fingertips, representing the connection between heart and mind. Send gratitude to yourself, to your space, to your environment for taking some time for you today. And I'm sending gratitude to each and every one of you who allowed me to guide you through our practice today, or to and through our practice today, I guess I can say. And thank you very much. And I hope to see you in the next one. Bye.